We are at the Gale Centre, where the Leafs Nation is in strong representation, watching the morning practice and the afternoon alumni game. The excitement is real as fans anticipate a successful season ahead. Notice you're wearing a brand new John Tavares jersey. What do you think his impact's going to be on the team this year?
I think he's going to score a lot of goals, and he's going to be a playmaker on the team, and he's going to make a good impact.
Do you think they've got the leadership necessary to lead these young guys deep into the playoffs this year?
I do. Tavares has already been in the league 9 years. They've got a veteran in Patrick Marleau that can lead them deep in the playoffs, hopefully. He's got playoff experience, and I think that in the last couple of years, Matthews and Marner getting some playoff experience will turn out this year really well.
The familiarity is kind of there. I think it'll just get better and better as we continue to play and feel each other out over training camp and preseason, and hopefully, going into regular season, we'll kind of be on the same page on pretty much everything and kind of know where each other's at and each other's tendencies and start from there.
And Patrick, with yourself and John Tavares both being past captains, what do you think it means adding a player like that to the leadership of this team this year?
I can only help it. I think the stronger your group is in leadership, the stronger your group, and definitely he brings that element to the team.
Austin, is it safe to say the expectations are the highest they've been since you've been with the team? And how does that translate to the chemistry that's in the locker room?
Yeah, I would say the expectations are the highest they've been in my 2 years here. I think we've all been together, kind of this core group now for 2 years, 3 years, and it only gets better. It's a close team. Guys are young, kind of feed off each other, and everybody wants to get better. Everybody's competitive, and we weren't happy with last year's result, and we obviously want to build off that. Picked up some pretty good players this offseason, and go from there.
What are your expectations for the Leafs for this upcoming season?
Well, I hope they make at least the second round of the playoffs.
I'm going at least third round, hopefully.
With a new addition of someone like John Tavares, how long do you think it's going to take this team to build the necessary chemistry to compete for that Stanley Cup?
Not too long. Not too long. I watched him out there practicing. Oh, he's fabulous. He's just a great player.
Former Leaf Brad May was at the Gale Centre in advance of tonight's alumni game and shared with us his opinion on the 2018-2019 Leafs.
You know what? This team's set up to be very good for a long time. The players have to go and win games, and they have to do it. But it all starts here, clearly in Niagara Falls. But training camp.
What do you think the impact was of the Marlies winning the Calder Cup this past season, and having like a younger player like Andreas Johnsson coming up and trying to make this club here? Where do you see someone fitting into a team like in his position?
Well, you go back into history. The best organizations are the deepest organizations. The Detroit Red Wings, and I played there my last season, but the Detroit Red Wings made the playoffs 25 years in a row, and they were able to slot guys in certain roles over the course of that timeline because they were able to develop them in Grand Rapids. The Toronto Marlies winning the Calder Cup, it's unbelievable for the organization, for the depth, but also for the competition. Kyle's got a great ability to connect to people. So I think he's going to do great. He really is. I know Shanahan and everyone else within the organization are very, very pleased at where they are right now. The biggest question mark is how are the players going to receive this? Because when your teacher goes away for a little bit and the supply teacher comes in, not saying that that's the case, all of a sudden maybe you're not as detailed.
After their weekend in Niagara Falls, the Leafs head back to Toronto to prepare for their first regular season game against the Montreal Canadiens on October 3rd. Reporting for The Source, this is James J. Hall.